What does it take to be a successful sales rep when you're in the construction supply industry today? That's a question that I asked of Don Magruder. I'm Craig Webb. I'm president of Webb Analytics, and I'm here in Leesburg, Florida to talk to Don Magruder, the CEO of RoMac Building Supply. And he's got more than a few opinions based on his 44 years of experience in terms of what it takes to be a good sales rep. See you, sir.
Nice seeing you, Craig.
Thank
How you doing?
I appreciate you taking the time to talk about 44 years in the career, 26 years at RoMac. I would imagine that the actual interrelations that you have with vendors have probably evolved over those years.
Yeah, things have changed quite a bit. But however, I'm not one of these dinosaurs that says, oh, this is how we used to do it and that's the way it should be. Quite frankly, I'm totally the opposite. I embrace technology. I like a lot of things, especially, you know, some things out of COVID I really like for efficiencies, like Zoom meetings. That's really made us more efficient. But I look at the technology advances as a tool, sort of like a phone. You use a phone to make calls, but that shouldn't be the end-all, be-all. And so I'm a little different. I look at what's happening with vendor interactions today, and I shake my head at some people are relying too much on technology. So I have some different opinions, but no, I'm not that dinosaur that says, hey, when I start in 1980, we still need to do the same way. Because in 1980, to be a successful vendor, you walked into Moore Hanley Home Crafters in Pascagoula, Mississippi, slapped the store manager on the back. You say, hey, let's go fishing. And that's all it took to get PO.
Right, and probably in those days you pulled out your spiral bound notebook and you brought in a box of donuts and you started to have a conversation and you were a clerk as much as anything. So when you deal with a good vendor today, a good sales rep, what are you expecting from them now in terms of how they act and operate?
Well, we're different than a lot of companies. We set up our business partners and vendor partners like in November for the following year. But then we push everything down. The decisions on what to buy and when to buy are basically held in our store managers. And what that allows is our vendor partners to earn the business of each store and to develop a relationship, because we find the closer we can get our vendor partners to the store managers, the salespeople, the contractor coordinators, the better it is for our customers. And ultimately, that's who our end user is. We want to make sure that those customers are served properly.
What are ways that a good sales rep can earn your business?
First off, by showing up and showing out. That's one problem we have today. You have a lot of salesmen that claim to be vendor salesmen. They'll blow in here, want to shake my hand, and blow out. That's not important to us. The first thing we'll say, if you're a vendor sales rep, and I'm fortunately in a position now, I have a very tough schedule. And I tell anybody, if you want to see me, please email me, let me know. I try to be very respectful. First off, I want to meet with vendors, find out what's going on, but just don't show up. But secondly, we want our vendors to come in, walk our store, look at their product lines, know what's going on. You know, the sad thing, we have vendors show up and they'll request a meeting with me. They won't know anything about the company, won't know anything about the product lines we're selling, have limited information, done no homework, and then they can't figure out why we show little interest. The people that gather our attention are the folks who understand the locations we have, what we're buying, what we're selling, and some background information. And it's pretty easy to get that information. You can go to www.romacfl.com and we tell our complete story.
So basically doing your homework in part means looking at the website, learning about the market, studying the demographics.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times it just means coming by and visiting. You know, we're pretty open. We're very transparent. You know, you go to any of our lumber yards or any of our businesses, you know, the managers and the outside salespeople will talk to you. And you know, we're open to good ideas. Our best ideas come from others. And a lot of vendors just don't get that. You know, they want to do a text. They want to do a video conference. You know, the sad thing, I've met with some vendors in the last few months that, quite honestly, they didn't know anything about us. they didn't even know who I was, that I'd been here 26 years. And it's not that I'm trying to be egotistical, but I'd like to, if I'm going to request to meet someone, you should know a little something about it. And once again, we're very transparent. You can find out, but showing up and showing out is real important for our vendor partners.
You told me a story earlier about a vendor that came to visit you that you really liked because you thought they did a good job.
Yeah, we RoMac Building Supply is an independent supplier here in the state of Florida, and they were a company, and they sort of floundered. They didn't provide some of the stuff we needed, and they got bought out by a new group, and one of the owners is Jim Kervelik. And Jim, and I probably butchered his name, Jim, I butchered it every time, but Jim is the owner, and he came by and see me, and we talked. At the time, we were doing virtually no business with Parliament. And he said, well, what's your needs are? What's your wants? He provided information on the foundation steel markets and other things. And every year he's come by, he asked us, how do we want to be sold? What's important to us as a vendor? And he set up programs that met our expectations. And every year for the last 3 years, our business has grown exponentially with him. And now because of him working and his vendor representatives working, our store managers actually want to do business with him because we see that he is concerned about it. So, you know, I look at Jim and I say, that's how you can take someone who was virtually doing no business, every year has grown the business, and now he's to a point in our company that we want to do business with him. And there's other people that we do business. We're very loyal in how we treat our vendor partners, quite frankly.
I would say that in the old days, the old joke was you brought a box of donuts in. The box of donuts has gone away, but it still seems like vendors feel like the best way to get to you is to invite you to the golf course.
No, not for us. To be honest, we participate in shows, and we're not to a lot. If we go out to dinner or something, that's no big deal. But to be honest, we actually are good vendors. Any perks we give to our employees. And vendors do various things to get the attention of folks who are doing business with it. But most of the perks we get from vendors, we give to our employees. It's not about a box of donuts. It's not about a golf outing or none of that. I don't have time for it. Most of our managers don't. Quite frankly, what's most important to us is turning around the information quickly and getting us priced correctly. I tell every vendor, I say, hey, look, it's in your best interest to competitively price us. If I can't sell it, you can't sell it. So that's, first off, on price, we have to be competitive. But secondly, the end customer, our builders, our customers, are the folks who have that Amazon standard. They want their information now. They want it now and correct. So the vendors that can provide us timely information, make sure it's correct, and be competitive, not the lowest price, they're going to get our business.
So there you have it. I think you can tell that Don has more than a few opinions about what it takes to be a successful sales rep, and I hope you can take those to heart. I'm Craig Webb of Webb Analytics, and I thank you for taking part and listening to this program. You can learn more about what I do and follow the news at www.webb-analytics.com. Thanks a lot.